Yo, what's up? I'm going to review a full day of eating by Kerrith Bajjo.
That's how you prep 4 meals in a hurry.
A toxic green vegetable, arsenic and overcooked meat? Is that what it is?
We had to break this down for the video, but I guarantee you I could do all of this within 10 minutes. Don't tell me you don't got 10 minutes to prep your food.
There's no need to prep your food. You could also just eat the way humans eat in nature. Eat your food raw. That's what every animal does.
Hey, what's up, Muscle and Strength? IFBB Pro Kerrith Bajjo here. I'm going to take you on a full day of eating. Come on, let's go. About 5 o'clock in the morning. Gotta go get some breakfast. It starts with meal 1. First, we gotta feed my little guy. He's in prep too. He's always in prep.
Again with the egg whites. They are just so delusional with their egg whites.
No egg cream required. That's the beauty of off-season. That is where the magic happens. 1 teaspoon, generous serving. You see, that Teddy's all natural, unsalted peanut butter.
Peanut butter, peanuts themselves have aflatoxins, phytic acid. They are pretty toxic for the body, and that's because those are not even nuts, it's actually just legumes. Most people are unaware of that.
Put that up to the consistency of brownie batter. You've got yourself an awesome little breakfast.
What's awesome about it? $72 grams of protein? No, and that's because the protein in peanut butter is not bioavailable. Of course, he would not understand that. Fat? Yeah, forget about it. He may get a lot of carbs, I will agree with that.
Now that that's done, we gotta get my little guy's food prepped. A little bit of rice, probably about 1.5 cups of lean ground beef and duck. Whatever's left of the blueberries, 1/4 cup of greens and carrots.
Why greens and carrots for a dog? Are you stupid or what?
1/4 cup beef bone broth. A little colostrum form too. A little kelp. Mushroom complex.
What mushroom complex? What kelp? What's going on with you? Dogs don't eat that.
You're saying, damn, that dog eats good, right? You're right. But I love him so.
He actually gives the dog raw meat, which is great. That's exactly what you should also be eating, but of course he's too stupid to understand that. But wow, the dog actually really gets better food than he himself eats. The rest that he added is absolutely useless at best and most likely harmful for the dog, but the meat is just perfect. Nah, come on, what's going on in your head when you look in the mirror and you don't see that you have body dysmorphia? All that I see is a drug addict, a junkie, no different from a heroin addict, really no different at all. And they promote this on a video on YouTube. They are basically indirectly promoting drug use. Can you even say indirectly, really?
This hits the spot every time, and it doesn't cause me to bloat or anything. Sure, you can say preservatives, but honestly, this is one of those things that I'm willing to sacrifice. You know, if you say, oh, the preservatives are gonna make you old, I haven't found that to be true. So, Ben's Original cooks up in 1 minute and 30 seconds. You can't lose with this.
Food should never make you bloated. If it does, then it's indigestible, then you should not be eating it. If you would eat the meat raw, then your digestion would be perfect. And that's because when an animal eats what the animal is naturally supposed to eat, then it's all fine. Especially for a human being who eats raw meat. Ask anybody who eats raw meat, their digestion is perfect. As long as the meat comes from healthy animals, of course. His digestion would be pretty much perfect if he ate what he gave his dog.
All right, guys, for you guys telling me that you have no time to prep your food, I'm going to show you how easy it is. You already saw the simple process of cooking up some lean ground beef. We're gonna just portion everything out. So, all right, so 123. We went a little bit over, not a deal breaker. We got 112 grams of rice for this meal. So that'll work out fine. All right, 122 grams. See what's in the next.
Bodybuilders are so dumb. Rice only has fiber, sugar, and arsenic. It's incredibly unhealthy. Why do all of you morons eat it?
Frozen green beans are, for the most part, more fresh than unfrozen vegetables in the produce department. The reason why is because these are picked at the peak of ripeness and then flash frozen. They never get thawed out after that. So whatever was there when they were at their peak is still trapped in there. There is reason behind that, and there is a lot of truth behind that. You guys could look into that. So if
I don't understand how any of that matters. It's still green beans, which don't even exist in nature. You're eating toxins, essentially. You do understand it, right? No, you probably don't. Why do you add them to your meal at all? What's the actual purpose?
this right here is frozen at its peak, it's going to retain its value, meaning it will hold more nutrients than a fresh fruit or...
They don't have any nutrients. How do you not understand that? Just search it up, green beans, nutrients. Oh, there's none in green beans. Wow. Why have I been eating them all of this time?
or vegetable would. I'm not saying that's all the time, but for the most part, this is going to be consistent through and through. You just got to make that clear for you. That's how you prep 4 meals in a hurry. We had to break this.
The problem with this meal is that the greens are toxic. The rice has arsenic, also toxic, and doesn't have any micronutrients, just like the green beans. And you could get some micronutrients out of the meat if it was raw, but it's insanely overcooked. Realistically, there's nothing left, and protein-wise, he destroyed at least 50% of the protein, probably.
Down for the video, but I guarantee you I could do all of this within 10 minutes. Don't tell me you don't got 10 minutes to prep your food, all right? What we got here is about 6 ounces of lean ground beef, 93.7. We've got 115 to 120 grams of rice, and probably...
It absolutely doesn't matter what he eats, seeing as he's running on drugs.
I want to make sure that I can control the narrative. So, you know, we add flavor, but we don't go crazy. Bon appetit.
You add flavor to it because the rice tastes like nothing at best. The green beans taste disgusting. And the meat also tastes like nothing at the best. Usually it gets worse when you cook it. Of course, you need to add some kind of flavor to this garbage.
So, post-training session, I love having this meal because my metabolism is firing. And I know steak takes a little bit longer to digest and break down. So, when my metabolism is at its highest, I'm going to eat some steak because I know my body's going to work just as hard to break this down and process it efficiently.
It's harder compared to what? What is he talking about? Meat is the easiest to digest food there is. Not cooked meat, that's harder to digest, but raw meat. This guy is, wow. 48 grams of protein. No, because if you mean from the meat, you overcooked it to death, in case you don't realize it. You got around 25 grams of protein, most likely, at best.
Can I get 2 burritos? Can I get Mexican rice, please? On both of them. They're both going to be the same exact thing. Yeah, just a little bit of black beans, chicken, both of them. Can I get lettuce, pico, the corn salsa, and sour cream? And that's going to be the same exact thing. Yeah, can I have a drink as well, please?
Cool, man. Some chips made with vegetable oils, most likely. And of course, the ingredients in these burritos are also, for the most part, damaging to the body. Actually toxic. Yes, you have some chicken, but the chicken is obviously the worst kind of chicken you can get. And it's also cooked to death. What can you even get out of it? Yeah, this is slave food. If there is such a thing as slave food, this is the definition of it. 97 grams of protein? You're delusional, absolutely. What is this nonsense? He definitely gets a lot of carbs, as in sugar, out of these meals.
And we are gonna cook up meal number 4. What that looks like is some ahi tuna. We're just gonna lightly sear this and hook up some.
Wow, I would love to eat that raw. Really, that looks edible. That looks like actual food. You could just cut it thinly and eat it like sashimi. You have way too much mass on your body. It's abnormal for a human being. That's the definition of obesity.
I'm basically a rice cooking expert because I've been doing this stuff since I was like 11 years old. So,
bad upbringing,
and I don't want to hear
bad
any
parents.
cooks out there talking about, oh, that's not how you cook rice. That's how I cook rice. And it tastes good. And it's...
Don't lie, rice doesn't taste good. Ever. You can put sauces on it and try to cover up the taste of the rice, or more so add flavor to it, but the rice itself never tastes good.
So I usually don't salt my pot. You gotta salt the rice. I'm sorry, guys. So, couple shakes. You got 2 shakes. And you're cooking tuna. It's a little hack that I learned when cooking proteins that have a lot of moisture. Dry them out. Dry them out. So we make that as dry as we can before it gets put into that saute pan.
Why? The juiciness, hydration you get out of raw food is one of the best parts.
With a little bit of cooking spray.
This right there is destruction of food.
3 on your stove. It practically cooks itself. All right, we got our rice coming to a boil.
Look at the difference, the top layer and then the middle. It's basically a crime that he's committing, cooking it.
There, see that over there? Rice coming to a boil. I'll turn that down a little bit. And we're back in the freezer. Grab our green beans. You know how we do those. Gotta make sure we got that sear on all sides.
Why?
Now let's take a guess, right? You see that? What's your guess? How much does that weigh? I'm gonna tell you right now.
A lot less.
There you have it, guys. Meal 4. We've got about 7 ounces of ahi tuna, 80 grams of long grain white rice, and 1/4 cup green beans.
Why does he eat the green beans? Why specifically the green beans? I understand that most people are brainwashed to believe that vegetables are healthy, even though it's more or less the unhealthiest thing you could possibly eat, besides seeds. Seeds are still worse than vegetables. But why specifically green beans, and why in the last meal and in this meal again? What does he believe is in those green beans that is gonna give him some kind of benefits, or whatever he believes? I'm just really curious.
Perfect temperature right there. Perfect temperature. That's how your tuna is supposed to look.
No, that's denatured tuna. That's exactly how it's not supposed to look like.
So 1.74 pounds cooked works down to 1.3 pounds. You see that?
There's green beans again. There's just something wrong with this guy. You have a dry, overcooked chicken again, no micronutrients left. His meals are devoid of micronutrients, that's for sure.
So this is my meal.
Wait, what?
6. It's approximately 8:50.
Wait, he eats raw meat? What?
And this is going to be my last meal before I completely shut it down for the day. I had 1 sushi roll and 1 poke bowl, and I think that's a perfect way to end my full day of eating.
He should be eating this the whole day. I'm pleasantly surprised here. The only reason people in the US, Europe, and all of these brainwashed places eat raw meat is really the Japanese, maybe Koreans also partly. It's the only culture that I can think of that actually had a good influence on the very brainwashed nations.
If it were earlier in my off season, I might add, a pint of Nick's oat milk ice cream, but we're not there right now. So
that meal actually looks enjoyable. Not the rest that's there, but the meat for sure. And now, if you look at the protein, it's actually probably a lot closer. Of course, they also add the protein from the plants to it, which doesn't count. It's not bioavailable, as in the biological value is lower. But from the raw meat, yes, you actually get all of the protein that you would think that you would get, as in what would be written on the package or wherever you read about it. What's measured?
you guys saw me pretty much go to town on a bunch of food today. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kerrith Bajjo, full day of eating, muscle and strength.
Okay, your full day of eating was garbage, but I gotta say that the last meal was pretty nice.
Out.
Total 394. The total was probably 200 to 250, something like that. Almost 400. Absolutely impossible. Come on. That stuff was so incredibly overcooked. Just forget about it. He also destroyed a lot of the fat, but not as much. He definitely got a lot of carbs. I wouldn't say the full amount, of course, because the foods are just not bioavailable that he eats. Around 500 might as well be true. He got a lot of calories, but not that many calories. That's 100%. I still don't understand why he ate the green beans throughout the day. I can only imagine that he's brainwashed, just like everybody else, to believe that vegetables are healthy and that you have to eat them. None of these people could possibly explain why, but because of the media, they simply believe it. It's a religious belief, you could say. They eat them, they don't like them, they try to cover up the taste, but at the end of the day, they believe that they ate the way they are supposed to. Some people may believe that there's micronutrients inside of vegetables, even though when you look it up, it's actually more or less the least nutritious food out there. Besides seeds, as I said before, seeds will always be worse. Seeds even rob you from nutrients. Some vegetables also do. All of them have some sort of anti-nutrients and toxins that inhibit the digestion of whatever food you eat along with those man-made plants. If you eat meat with seeds, then you won't get as much protein out of the meat, for example. And that's exactly what happens when you eat rice with meat, the green vegetables. It's just a terrible combination of foods. You could also simply only eat the meat, or when it comes to the last meal, you could also only eat the raw meat. Of course, he has no idea about what we naturally are supposed to eat. All of us do understand it, but it has been repressed so incredibly much, especially by the media and by the way we are educated in school, especially, that people just don't realize it anymore. And that's why, even though everybody likes to eat sushi, they believe that it's something that you should only eat now and then. And you should, of course, eat it with rice together or whatever, instead of just eating sashimi or just taking a piece of raw meat, whether it's fish or a land animal, and just biting into it. It's the same thing when you eat sushi, but it's a smaller portion. There's other stuff there. There's soy sauce, fake wasabi, horseradish, not real wasabi, that's more expensive. Most sashimi places don't have a real wasabi, of course. And then it's acceptable and it's socially acceptable, which is why you can eat it together with your colleagues. Anyway, overall it was a typical brainwashed slave bodybuilder eating absolute garbage, but as I said, I was pleasantly surprised with the last meal. He actually got some real protein out of that. Thanks for watching.